First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone who are here to celebrate the life of Shaylee Bell. She was very important to the BritCon community, to EverCon before that, to pretty much a lot of conventions in this area. And we at BritCon know how much she meant. And so when her unfortunate passing occurred, it was without hesitation that we said, BritCon needs to honor Shaylee. And so that's why we are here, so that we can do that. Mike Sintrap is going to co-moderate this with me.
Right.
And anyway, the one thing I will say, because it's being streamed, if you speak, we need you to speak into a microphone. Otherwise, they're not going to hear you on the Zoom. So I guess the way to start, I mean, luckily I was able to play the slideshow. And for those of you online, don't worry, I can convert that slideshow into a video. I'm not sure how soon that will happen. It will happen, and we will put that up on our YouTube channel. We'll probably have it up on our Facebook, so you will be able to see that slideshow. There was a lot of phenomenal photos that were donated for that. Almost 200. I played it before I converted my laptop over to a Zoom machine. So people that are here were able to at least see them a few times already. So I guess the first question I have is, we would really like to have some people share some stories. And I was wondering if there's anyone here that is interested or willing to share a story about Shaylee. Charlie, would you like to start us off? Sure. So I'm going to have Charlie Loden come to the microphone and share his story.
In 2013, I went to the Seattle Gay Pride Parade. It was one of the first that was, I believe it was one of the first that was in downtown Seattle marching down 4th Avenue. And as a good little gay, I did my duty and went to the parade, even though I wanted to stay home. And I was watching all the floats going down the street, Absolute Vodka, some leather thing, bunch of dancing, nearly naked people, a Dalek. Wait, the hell? That piqued my interest because I think I'm more geek than gay. And I was like, I need to meet this person who built this Dalek and find out what their story is. So I didn't care about the rest of the parade. I kind of just kept walking with the Dalek on the sidewalk, just kind of like following it. And eventually the Dalek and the owner wound up at Seattle Center, where everybody was gathering at the end of the parade. And I walked up to this very tall, kind of intimidating looking person and introduced myself. And she introduced herself as Shaylee, and I said, "Hi, I'm Charlie. How did you do this?" And she's like, "I just found things and put them together. You know, I don't have much of a budget." And I'm like, "Oh, that's music to my ears. I don't have much of a budget either." And she was the one that directed me to Project Dalek, the website that Dalek builders congregate to, and they make a build diary sharing their progress and their thoughts and ideas and innovations of creating deadly genocidal creatures. And I said, "I'm going to build my own." And so I went down to Lowe's that week and bought my first plank of plywood. It's all documented in my build diary on Project Dalek, including that plank of plywood. So this guy behind the curtain really would not exist without Shaylee Bell and her love of Doctor Who, her love of fandom, and just her love of sharing what she did and inspiring people in the community to go along with her. I'd since found out, maybe a few years after I finished my Dalek, that somebody in Portland, Oregon was inspired by mine. So it's Shaylee's grand Dalek that lives in Portland. So anyway, the legacy lives on. Thank you, Shaylee.
Thank you, Charlie, for sharing that story. Do we have anybody else who would like to come up and share? A little bit of a jungle approach, apologize.
I'm Esther, and I remember meeting Shaylee through her Dalek, Laura, of course, and I was wearing a Free Hugs shirt, and the Dalek started coming towards me, and I was like, "No, this didn't work out so well for Rose." And so we got to talking with Shaylee and realized we lived pretty close to each other, so we started meeting weekly to watch geeky things together. She introduced me to pub trivia, and the funny thing about pub trivia is the worse we argued, the better our score was. I remember we entered this Star Trek pub trivia and we came in fourth, even though we were the smallest team. We only had 2 people. But yeah, we were arguing. She's like, "I know all the answers. I just need you there to bounce ideas off." And I was like, "Well, I'm right here." We started entering some of the costume contests together. So I was dressed as River Song, and then of course Clara the Dalek came on, and that particular convention, it was the first group convention, they had way too many categories, and we were the only entry in the Doctor Who category. We were like, "Oh, that's because we just intimidated everybody else. They just dropped out as soon as they saw River Song." And and Clara the Dalek. She also came to me with this great idea for a convention where they were looking for musical acts, and I'm a singer-songwriter, and Shaylee had been experimenting with putting music through Clara, and she'd been doing Let It Go a lot.
Yeah.
And so she was like, you know that episode Asylum of the Daleks? Can you write a parody based on that episode with Let It Go? And I was like, yes, I can do it. And I bought like this $20 off Amazon Elsa outfit. It looked so terrible. It was like the cheapest fabric ever. And we went on stage and we performed it. And I was like, you got to bring Clara out near the end of the song, because if you bring Clara out in the beginning of the song, no one's going to hear anything I'm singing. So I sang the song and then brought out the Dalek and Ernst Turing. And then after that, I put on a Cyberman helmet over the Elsa costume, and we did Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better with the version with Captain John Barrowman singing on it. So we just had like a lot of great memories like that. And I'm always going to remember that time that we had together, that we could collaborate and just be friends and get to know this remarkable human. And I'm going to miss her a lot. So just wanted to share all that.
Thank you, Mr. Do we have anyone else? Actually, before we move on to the next person, I did want to point out that the reason that someone is standing over at a table by the doorway with a bunch of cups and this odd looking orange drink. Apparently that was Shaylee's favorite. Actually, let's try and grab one. Silly me, I forgot to print it with me, but for those of you viewing online, it's called We Can, and it's denominated in pounds, so I think it must be British. Anyway, there is enough for everyone to try it. Apparently, it's not to everyone's taste, so we have really small cups. The one idea would be to wait and do it towards the end of the session, and we could all do a toast. And then, of course, there might actually be some lunch, so if you actually really do like it, you're welcome to have some and take it with you. But we'll make sure that, everyone has an opportunity to try it if they want. So, is there someone? Yes. And we have our drink mistress. Tell me you want to call it.
The person here with the health department food handlers.
Yeah, yeah, so I
Kathy
think
Berg.
people know Kathy.
Yeah, some people call me Christmas Dalek, and like so many other people around the world, I met Shaylee online when I joined Project Dalek. Met Charlie in real life, and Shaylee was so supportive that when I would have a library ask for support to bring a Dalek, and my Dalek has been in progress since, short person, has been in progress since my granddaughter that I started with, she's now 17 years old. She was 4 when we started, and we're not done yet, but we do have 2.5 pounds of rhinestones and a magic wand arm and a scepter arm, because little kids don't have guns. And whenever I had a project that I needed a Dalek for, Shaylee would just drive Rainier onto the link like Hill, Clara, and every stop, she would have to back off and let people on and then get back on because they couldn't go up the stairs. And that she would bring Clara. Once she might have brought Dalek to Lakewood for presentations in the library, to Puyallup. We went to, I don't know how, oh, I took her. We went to a bowling alley and they had a skate with a Dalek at a bowling alley. There was nothing that Shaylee would not do to promote Daleks to people who obviously were missing the point and didn't know what they were. When my son called me up and he's like, I almost missed the bus to work. There was a Dalek downtown, and he sent me pictures, and I was like, yep, remember I told you about Shaylee? Shaylee. So hopefully it is my goal, and I don't know how it'll work out with the way the world is, but Shaylee was very invested in finishing a Dalek named Abby. And between Mike, who is the creator of a lot of the 3D printed Dalek parts, Shaylee and Mike were working on the printed versions of pieces of Abby. I am a retired stained glass artist, and I was helping Shaylee with the concepts of making the 3D glass panels for the skirt with the painted color designs on them. And we had been talking back and forth until very recently. And I would love to see that Dalek finished if there's any way we can do it. So please stand by. I think as a tribute to Shaylee, that would be an amazing thing to do.
I think somebody needs to do a Dalek and name it Shaylee. Does anyone else have Abby? Come on up, Abby. I figured, I knew Abby would want to say something, so.
Sorry, everyone, I'm kind of doing my way around.
Oh boy. So I found out about Shaylee from Barbara when I had just gotten back from my honeymoon, and I think I kind of like blacked out during that moment, and I know you were still texting me, and I just was not answering. And it took me. Oof. It took me a couple of days to kind of come to terms with everything, because I knew that she was sick, and there was just so much going on with me losing my dad and my wedding that I kept telling myself as soon as I got back from the honeymoon, I was going to go check on her. And then I got the text message that, well, no, you called. I don't remember. Yeah, you called, we talked. And it kind of made me think about the first time I met Shaylee. Mind you, a lot of these anecdotes have everything to do with me because I was the one singing Frozen all throughout Emerald City Comic-Con. And I had asked Shaylee, well, what if you could get the Dalek to start singing Let It Go? And so every time she saw me, she would torment me with that song over and over and over again. Yeah. And you know, that was one of the things that I loved about Shaylee so much, is that like she knew how crazy I was, or how busy I was running around all over the places. And anytime I'd see Clara, I knew that her friend was not far away. And then I knew Elsa was not far away. And I remember the first time we met, I don't know if anyone remembers Jessica, she read Doctor Who Seattle. And then she later on gave it to me because she had worse ADHD than I did. And so Doctor Who Seattle had put an event together called the Oncoming Cosplay. And it was just random people who were in love. It was like, I think my first year of going to Emerald City Comic-Con. And so I cosplayed Martha Jones, and you know, we had almost everyone. We even had a John Barrowman, and it was, or Jack Harkness, which was great. And then here comes Clara, this weird person who's driving this Dalek, and I was like, "What? Dalek here?" It was the first time I saw Dalek in Seattle, and it was funny because like, you know, I went to go and have a conversation with her and you know, just trying to learn about this community, learning about the cosplay community. As it was like, I think my second cosplay. She was just so welcoming and I didn't really get a chance to talk to her too long, but then we just kept seeing each other. We kept seeing each other. Like, I think Central Cinema did an event and there's a Dalek there. There was another couple events that we did. And then finally, Ryan and myself and Eric got to do the Doctor Who panel at Emerald City Comic Con. And that was the last time I got a chance to kind of hang out with her. And she's very informative and opinionated, just like just how Shaylee is. But we kept having plans to do another How to Speak the Queen's English class with Mark, or panel with Mark Dando. So it's just classes are just not going to be the same. They're not going to be the same without her. And I'm so glad that we're doing this because there's definitely a conversation that we had when everything at first happened with the BritCon exec team. And I thought it was really important that we had something. And I told Julie, I was like, if you need help with anything, just let me know. And so that's how this was able to happen. And I'm so glad that people have been sharing memories of her because she is one of the kindest people that I've ever met. And I'm absolutely heartbroken that I don't get to see her again. So thank you.
Thank you, Abby. I think a lot of us share that feeling. She definitely was very generous with her time. She loved the conventions and just wanted to be a part of them anytime she could. Is there anyone else? Oh, before I continue, actually, I did want to mention, Abby mentioned Julie Rampkin, and she is a notable absence today. If she could be here, she absolutely would. So I just wanted to say, and she was very instrumental in helping get the photos and stuff together and to do a display in the lobby. But she, I don't want to go into personal business, but she was not able to be here due to some family situations. So whoever would, is there someone who'd like to speak next? Okay, Michael Citra.
If I have to lock the wheel, it makes it easier to roll. That's okay. I've done theater, you know, running backstage and not tripping over any cables and tripping over a shadow. Shaylee came to light when I'm forgotten what convention it was, and you see a Dalek go by, and I went, oh, that's not something you see every day. So I got to meet her, and I hear talk of transporting on light rail. And I went, what? And you know, most of you have already been out there on Google, and you light rail Dalek Seattle, and there they are, and it's just absolutely amazing. And I said, Shaylee, I gotta know, do you have to pay extra for the Dalek? And she said, sometimes. And sometimes they considered it luggage. And you know, you're not wrong. You open up the back of, many of you seen, and then some of the photos, open it back. It is luggage. So I was looking at as we're getting ready here for BritCon, I'm looking at old notes from RipCon 2 years ago. And we had a registration system for volunteers. And, give us your input on what you like or what you consider to be your skill set. And she wrote, I'm British and I have a Dalek. And I went, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I really, really did enjoy that. And I very much wanted to, I had this brilliant idea. Well, I think it's brilliant. And I had contacted her. I said, look, I just want to do the Dalek bumps in the front of my walker. I think that'd be pretty cool. And that's when she started getting sick. And I realized that that's the last thing she's needing is other projects. But that, or I could do another thing that we talked about was putting on for a steampunk convention, which would put on the cow catcher on the front of the walker. So I had some projects I wanted to work with her, but she was interested in those as well. But definitely gonna miss her, but very much enjoyed her humor and her life.
Thank you, Michael. Do we have anyone else that would like to speak? I'm not seeing anyone, so why don't we start passing around that drink? And then maybe we could all do a toast together. I have heard that is what I've been told is what's in the choir's case. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna treat it like a shot. But I think that's appropriate as well. That means you have to like drink it all at once and just make sure you get it done. So if you have everybody watching, if you have a beverage with you, please feel free to join us in the toast. To Shaylee and to the Daleks and to her memory and the fact that her in fandom, she will live on.
Oh, God.
It kind of reminds me of a cream soda. That a combination between an orange and a cream soda.
It's like gasoline bubble gum.
You're right, it does have a bubble gum. There's a little bit of a bubble gum taste.
To Shaylee.
Well, this is what she loved. And I know she loved all of you and is very grateful that you all could be here. We still have a little bit of time if anyone's changed their minds and would like to say something.
Alright, so I'm Alicia Bears. I
Guys.
first met Shaylee at a NorwestCon, ConCom meeting, and found out she was building Daleks, when she was building or had built one that she was actually physically inside of for NorwestCon masquerade entry. It was very exciting to see her win something for that because it was fantastically made, and I was so glad to see that Dalek come out more than just then. And I know she was pretty excited when she found out her Dalek Clara on the light rail became a meme. It was, I'm always gonna remember Shaylee seeing that one make the internet rounds every so often. When I heard she was sick, I wanted to come up here. Unfortunately, work kept me busy all the time and wasn't able to get up here before I learned that she'd passed. But I am very much going to miss her. And I know the community is very much going to miss her. And it just won't quite be the same coming up for conventions here without her.
Thank you so much. I wasn't corrected, the name of the, house that we have in the orange drink is called Iron Brew.
Oh, what?
Iron Brew? Oh, Iron Brew? Yeah, I didn't even find the name on the bottle. What is it, actually, how that?
Yeah, it actually has it someplace, IRN.
Okay.
BRU. This one's
Iron
open,
Brew.
so it's
Okay, so I
kind of exploding.
okay, so I'm gonna hold this up to the camera. So that's what it's called, if you're looking for it, then you just have to try it. But I do recommend trying it with a lot of friends. That way you don't have a mostly full bottle that you don't want to drink, in case you don't like it. Okay, so we still have time if anyone else wants to speak, otherwise we'll finish up with this portion. I can get the slideshow started again, and you guys can talk among yourselves, whatever you want to do. Thank you to the online people who joined us. And Rick Con will keep you posted on when we have a video out. And again, thank you all for coming and helping us celebrate this very special person in Shaylee Bell.